Hey there everybody, this is Steven with another Pixel for Life video tutorial. Today's tutorial is going to be somewhat short because I feel that this one and the next tutorial should be on their own parts rather than combining the two. So today what we're going to be doing is this gray box area. Now what I found interesting with this is that we're able to have 3 boxes using divs, and we don't need to specify a width other than a percentage. So that might be a little confusing to hear, but once we do it, it should probably make sense. So to start off, we're going to go into our index page, and right underneath this banner, we are going to make a another div, and this one is going to be for the div ID equals tryboxbg. And if you remember, so inside of here, we need to have 3 boxes. Let me make some more room under here so you can see. Let's make a comment just to keep it neat. The comment is going to say tryboxbg ends, and then tryboxbg wrapper. Okay. Now that we've got that out of the way, now we need to have 3 boxes. If you can see, we have sample 1, 2, and 3. Now these 3 boxes are going to have an ID and a class. So we're going to start off with div with the ID of, it's going to be trybox. Now this one is just going to be so we can space it some margin from the top. And if we want to do any, I don't know, any fancy things, but I'm not going to be using that too much. And then this class is what's going to give it the width and all that. So class is going to be left, and then let's just give it a an h2 tag, and then we're going to go sample title box as well, and just make a comment that says try box closed. Let's keep it consistent. Ends. Perfect. Okay. So we're going to copy this 3 times. 1, 2, and 2 times. So let's refresh this and see what we got. Oh, beautiful. That looks spiffy. Alright, so that's going to be number 3 and number 2. So now the rest of the work is in the styles.css. So we're going to come down here. We're going to make a comment, and we're going to call this try boxes. And then in here, we're going to do another one just to close that off. Sorry, I have to stay neat. Alright, so in this, we are going to specify a couple of things. We're going to first do that background. So tryboxbg. We're going to give it a width of 100%. Sorry, I know this probably annoys a few of you guys, or most of you, or all of you. And then we're going to give it a height of 207, and this is the height of that image, the background gray image that's going to repeat along the x-axis. So 207 pixels, and then we want to give it some margin, and 10 pixels from the top, and then 0, 0, and 0. And then we're going to do the same thing with padding. We're going to give it 1 pixel and 0, 0, 0, just so it has a little white line at the bottom, and you'll see that. I'll point it out hopefully. And now we want to give it that background with a URL images slash what is it called, graybg.png. Repeat it along the x-axis, and let's save that and just see what that's looking like. And that did not show up. Okay, one mistake I did is I named it wrong. Over here in tryboxbg, we want that to be a lowercase g. Save it, refresh, and there the gray box comes in. Okay, nice. Now we also want to give this a border on the top and bottom. So we're going to go border top, and it's going to be 1 pixel solid, and it's 9898. And then border bottom, 1 pixel solid, and this one is D0, D0. Okay? Just refresh that so you can see what that's looking like, and here's that 1 pixel gap. I don't know if you can see it on the screen recording. So now that we have that, we're going to do that the wrapper for this. So try box wrapper. And this one's going to be a width of 930 pixels. This is the same width as everything else. And then we want a height of 207 as well. We probably don't need this, but I'm going to add it anyways. And the position, we're going to give this a position of relative. Now normally I don't specify this, but the 3 boxes are going to have a position of absolute. And I believe if you have a div inside of another div, and that second div is absolute, the first one has to be relative. The parent div has to be relative. And then we're in the center, so margin 0 auto. Save that, and we're not going to check it out because nothing's going to be there. So now that we have that, we want to specify this try box, and we're going to give it a margin of 33 pixels from the top, and then everything else is 0, 0. The font size is going to be 13 pixels, something kind of small, and the color is going to be a gray color, 3A, 3A, 3A. Very nice. I'm going to clean that up a little bit, and then underneath here, this is where we're going to start working on those 3 boxes. So we're going to start off with dot left, and then we're going to write position, and this is going to be absolute, like I said. And then it's going to be left, and 0 pixels from the left. And then the width is going to be 30%. And by having a width of 30%, if we make this the wrapper for the try box smaller or wider, these 3 div boxes will remain equally sized. So now that we have that, we're going to go to dot center. Let me just make sure that I named that correctly. And we forgot to name these, so just going to name that first. The second one is going to be center, and then the last one is going to be right. So center, it's going to be the same thing. Let's just copy this, paste it in here. And left, it's going to be 30%. And then the width is going to be 40%. So let's copy this. Copy this whole row, paste it, and it's dot right, position absolute. From the left, it's going to be 70%, and then the width is going to be 30% again. And let's see if this worked. And there you go. You can see we have 3 boxes that are nicely sized. Very cool. So now that we have that, we can work on the text. And if you remember, we wrap this in, the titles are in H2 and the body text is in paragraph tags. So underneath this try box, we're going to go try box H2. And in here, we're going to say font weight, and it's going to be bold. And then the font size is 20 pixels. And text align is going to be center. Nice. And then for try box P, which is the paragraph tag, we're going to have just padding of 15 pixels. That way they have a little gap in between it. As you can see, looking very good. Awesome job. And actually that might be it for this. We have just about everything that we need. We have this 3 evenly spaced boxes with sample titles and text. And if we were going to make this, let's just go to inspect the element and check out this wrapper. This is what I'm talking about with having these as percentages. If we lower this and make this smaller, it still has 3 boxes. So if we make that 500, it still has 3 boxes. So it's really nice for scaling it. Okay, so that's going to end this part. In the next one, we're going to take care of the Twitter element, this right here. And it's going to end up looking a little bit different, and I will explain why in the next tutorial. Thanks for watching, and see you next time.